Hello, everyone. This is the story of The Little Mermaid, Part 2. For those of you who might have missed Part 1, I've provided a link in the description. Now let's read Part 2, where we will hear about the Sea Witch. 10 years went by quickly, and soon it was Delphina's 15th birthday. As a surprise, the king and queen told Delphina that she could explore the surface of the ocean, but she would always be escorted by Oscar the orca and Dolph the dolphin. Delphina had heard strange stories about humans who sailed their yachts on the ocean, and she was excited but a little nervous about this adventure. But, warned her mother, beware of the wicked sea witch. You will recognize her by the 3 iron snakes on her head. Always keep Oscar and Dolph by your side. Delphina immediately swam to the surface of the ocean, escorted by Dolph and Oscar. She was amazed to see the sandy beach, the lush green hills, and palm trees. The same evening, there was another party. Caspian celebrated his 18th birthday with many guests on his fancy yacht. While the guests celebrated, dancing, singing loudly, and having a good time, Caspian and his best friend Ralph stood quietly chatting away from the crowd. Prince Caspian was still embarrassed by his stammer, and he was happy to watch the others celebrating. Then, as night fell, and the moon and stars came out in the clear sky, Delphina decided it was time for a concert. Her sweet, melodious voice carried across the sea to Caspian and Ralph. Caspian heard Delphina's voice and immediately fell in love with the beautiful mermaid. But trouble soon arrived on the horizon. The sea witch, with 3 snakes spiraling out of her head, rose out of the water. She was about to unleash her evil magic. Next, let's hear about the witch's underwater kingdom. Spitting bolts of lightning from the 3 iron snakes, the sea witch caused a terrible storm with high rolling waves. The mermaid was thrown backwards, and the yacht began to rock violently. The witch grinned with evil delight as she hurled a massive wave at the yacht. The yacht snapped into 2, and Prince Caspian, who was always afraid of swimming, began to sink to the bottom of the ocean. Delphina the mermaid saw the yacht breaking up, and she dived underwater to save Caspian. Imagine her horror. The sea witch clutched Caspian tightly in her arms, carrying Caspian deeper into the ocean. Delphina followed the sea witch, swimming swiftly. And now she had a grim decision. She could see the prince being pulled into a dark, gloomy tunnel. The sea witch's home. Should she follow the witch? Even though she remembered her mother's warning, Delphina was determined to save the prince. When she arrived at the cave, the prince's lifeless body lay beside a blue, bubbling cauldron. And then the witch arrived, cackling with delight. With this brew in the cauldron and my own indigo blood, I will revive Caspian, and he will rule this witch's underworld forever with me. But my dear, she said, turning to Delphina, there is one way to rescue your charming prince. You have something that I want, she continued in a grating, nasty voice. Your golden hair in exchange for this flask with my own indigo blood. Brewed with seaweed and sea creatures in the bubbling blue cauldron, it will bring your prince back to life. Delphina remembered the fairy godmother's warning. For if it's lost, a tragic fate, your voice goes silent, a mournful state. But she was determined to save Prince Caspian. She grabbed the flask with the witch's blood and offered her golden hair in exchange to the witch. We finished part 2 of this story, and next we will discover in part 3 what happens to Caspian and Delphina. So click on the link to watch part 3.